Hello everyone, welcome to Bargain Gaming, where we can play excellent games without busting our wallets. This is a special episode. I believe it might be a good time to actually do something, talk about licenses and gambits. This is primarily not for the experienced players. This is just to help people who haven't played this game before understand the simple concepts of the licenses and the gambits. We can actually work on that very quickly. In other words, licenses determine the kind of vocation or profession each of your characters have. In this game, we are allowed up to, by pressing the triangle button, I'm using PS4, it shows us our party. Our party is consisted of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This person here is a guest, and at any one time we can field 3 people. At the start of the game we start with Vaughn, and then over time he picks up the other people who joins the group, and then overall we will have 6 people to pick from in our game that we can actually fight with. When a guest joins us, he also is part of our party when we're fighting a boss or something, whatever. But normally we're limited to only 3 people in our party, and so we can pick 2 teams in effect. And what I've done is I separated them into 2 teams, Team 1 and Team 2. And Team 1 is composed of Vaughn, Ash, and Penelo. And then when okay, sorry, I should not have done that. Okay. And then let's go look at their licenses, their vocations, or their professions. So, Team 1, let's use Van as an example. When we click on so we go to the license board, to the license category, press X and highlight Van so we can use our D-pad to choose. So let's say pick Van. Van is currently a time battle mage, and so these are all under the license board. All of these are things that we can actually trigger on or turn on by paying the license points. License points are earned every time we fight and kill monsters in the game. Small monsters give us small LPs or license points. Big monsters give us big LPs. So right now Van has 723 license points. So these license points can buy we will usually start Van started, this was his initial license. So in this game, when you play through to the point where we're currently at in this save point, we are currently at the Wraith Wall. So if you're playing the game straight through, just for the story, the game time will be around 50-60 hours, and you can complete the game. But then the game has 3 more items in them. One is that there are 8 espers. They are like demigods or closer like bosses, and you can collect them. And one of them is this guy. No, not this guy. I think we gave them to Belias. Belias, get it? No, I think we gave them. We have not given them anything. Oh, we have not given them out yet. Okay, we can go back to Vaughn. And okay, here it is. This is one of the espers. The very first esper we got. So there are 8 hidden espers and 5 as part of the game that will count. So overall there are 13 espers, and the 5 we will stumble into them naturally as we progress through the story. But the 8 hidden espers, we have to actually look for them and hunt them down, and they are very hard. So that's the additional point to the story. And then there's the hunt club, the under clan whatever, overseen by Mont Blanc. And aside from that, there is another hunt club where we are asked to hunt trophy hunts. The Mont Blanc, the hunt club by the clan rather, the clan has regular hunts going on, and they're like regular tougher monsters, like maybe almost to the level of mini bosses. And then the Fun Coast Banga Hunt Club, Trophy Hunt Club, there are at least 30 monsters. They are closer to almost stronger than mini bosses, and almost boss level. And those things they spawn. They don't naturally spawn. They have like a low percentage of spawn. So you have to first, we don't know where they are. In the Hunt Club of Mont Blanc, we talk to the petitioner, and the petitioner will tell us where it is, and there are conditions that we satisfy, and then the monster will appear. And in the Trophy Hunt Club from the Fawn Coast, we don't know where they spawn. They arbitrarily spawn somewhere, and their spawn rate is low. And so to do all of those extra 3 layers of the game, it can easily the game can actually take close to at least 150 hours. I have logged in 165 hours and 160 hours, and I have not yet. I have hunted most of the espers. I'm short 2. I've hunted on the regular Mont Blanc. I have hunted most of them. I think I'm maybe about 80%. Now on the trophy hunts, I have only gotten 2 out of 30. So this is a huge game. Anyway, we're going back to the license board. So the license boards is this way. Are patterned in this way. So each this is the as in case of Vaughn, we have trained him to be a battle mage. There are actually 12 professions or vocations in this game. So Van currently is a time mage, and Balthier is a machinist, and Fran is an archer. We are all asked to pick the vocation as they start the game. And Ash, I turn her into a monk, and Penelo is our white mage. So once we hit and finish Wraithwall, we're given another license board. So we become a dual profession person. When we finish that, we will be given this extra. So we started with this. This is the one that established Vaughn as a time mage. Then let's go back to, this is the second profession that is made available to us once we finish Wraithwall. And once we click on this, there's no going back. We have to pick one profession. So anyway, I have saved the game here already, so that's fine. So assuming, and this is just to show what happens. So when we pick this, pressing X, you will be unable to return to the license menu until you confirm your new board. Proceed anyway? Yes. Now it brings us, these are all the available professions in the game. So right now, Van is the white mage. This is Balthier is the machinist, and it shows up. And Knight is you can see Bash's face at the bottom, and Monk is Ash, and this is this is Van, and we started with an archer is Fran. So there are 12. So the Ulan, it works on I think it clearly shows it's spears based, and we can take a peek as to what the license board is like, and all that we have turned on already in our previous board will also show. So in my playthrough, I turned Van's dual secondary profession as a bushi, as this is okay. So if we have not decided, we just want to look at it, we can press square, and it shows us what are the things that are available in this board as a bushi. or as a Bushido guy. So what do we have already earned and what are already kind of revealed will show up here. So these are all they're not exactly secret, because when we have our cursor go over it, it shows us what we have or what is available. And so we can actually see that there's Libra, there is, and we can determine what are the things we need or that our current time battle mage does not have. And so these are all, so their layout is very different from the time battle mage, right? This is the Bushi profession. And so every profession will be different, will have a different layout. And it is important, like in this Bushi, if again we press this square, this is just to view it. We cannot go, but we cannot leave this, this license screen without picking one. I tried to do that and it kind of glipped my, I forced quit by going, sorry, to the PlayStation desktop and close application, and I glitched my character. Don't ever do that. So, and so we have, from here you'll notice that we have sorry, that are separate from the general board. These can be traversed by the espers. That's why it's very important for us to find espers, because no way can we connect to this one unless we have an esper, or because of the different layout of the different professions, what we have already as time battle mage might appear as outliers. Like in this case, like because here we can get that's not a good example. No. So so what happens is that what we have already appeared, or what we have already bought and are shown up on our time battle mage, will get shown up also on the this one is the Bushido page. And so from here we can, this one without this one buying this one would have been like an outlier similar to this one. It would not have been available to us. So we can see as a Bushido we can pick up more hit points than the time battle mage, because as in any character or professions, mages have less hit points and they get more mana points, whereas melee fighters have more hit points and less mana points. And therefore in my playthrough, what I have done is I have combinations of them. So like Vaughn is a time battle mage and a Bushido, and then Ash is a monk, and then I turned her into a black mage, and then Penelo is a white mage, but I didn't want her to be very weak, so I also I turned her into another monk so that she can have, so both Ash and, so in essence both Ash, Penelo, and Vaughn are, none of them are what they call glass cannons. So they can cast spells, but they have a ton of hit points also, and they also have a ton of magic points. And so the professions, that's why I guess that's the reason why they gave us dual professions. Is primarily for that reason. So let's go back to say, so we have, so this is the black mage. This is primarily like the blaster. They're all elemental based. And the archer is archer, right? Foe breaker, these are like the warriors, meaning heavy damage dealers, like two swords, or no, not two swords, I shouldn't say two swords, but hammers and axes. And then of course time battle mage controls time, haste, gravity, all kinds of stuff. And so you can look at these things. And then the red battle mage, I don't have one. These are the ones that can cast black. They are only the guys that can cast black. So it's a combination of arcane, white, and black. And then the machinist is primarily their guns oriented. So in my, I think here, okay, we're okay. And then the Ulan are spear based. And then white mage, of course, they're the healers. And the Shikari, they are like the ninja. First aid, heal, so daggers. The ninjas are, all the classes here are actually very, very powerful. And so it depends on what kind of gameplay you like. So you can vary your professions. And then Bushi, that's the katana. Black mage, okay, we went through that. So those are the 12 professions. And in theory, we have 6 characters. So we can actually have all of them filled up all the professions, right? If they all have different professions, but since I'm the way I did it, okay, what we picked up Bushi. Yes, choose this. Okay, now that we have chosen that, when we look at Van now, we can, using the triangle, we can flip between his time battle mage and Bushi, or Bushido, or his katana. So his layout is very different, and also so that's why it makes sense that they will sometimes fill some of the outliers here when we do the flip. Anyway, that is for licenses. The other one are gambits. Gambits are are the instructions we give each character on what they should be doing all the time, especially fighting. So in my first team, my A team or my team 1, the main damage dealer here would be Van. As a Bushido, he will come across his ultimate sword is actually a one-handed weapon. It's called a Kumba, and he can actually equip a shield with it. And with the shield, this one game also, the Zodiac Age actually offers an ultimate shield that is super, super good. It's called the Gendarme. So that combination makes Van my primary damage dealer. And then Ash would be a dealer in magic. And then Penelo is purely healing and taking off debilitations. So in other words, what we want to do is the gambits are also, they appear on the license boards. These are spots that we buy. The G's here, the G, this is a gambit slot. So right now, what we have on Vaughn is, gambits, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we buy another license, he has 9, right? We buy this, we use 50 license points to buy this. Yes, so it opens up 2 adjacent areas that we can invest in. We can see what they are, but we cannot invest in them until we buy them. And then, so if we go back to the gambits, we can see that now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the more instructions lines that that each character has, the more detailed we can define how they should be reacting. So Van's lines, once we get more of his time mage's capability, he will be doing more stuff like hasting his people, granting them haste, float. There are all kinds of stuff that he will be picking up later on in the game. And so all these lines, all these gambits will be filled up. In essence, what we really want to do is give him very specific instructions on how to react. And also, like, there are many situations, like there are all kinds of magic there in the game, and like this, like KO. So what happens when KO means the character is temporarily knocked out or died, and then you can be stoned, turned into stone. You can be petrified. Stop means you'll be prevented from doing anything. Sleep, you cannot do anything. You're sleeping. Confused, you'll beat yourself. You'll beat your own friends. Doom is when after a certain countdown of 10, you're dead. Blind means your ability to hit gets worse. So we have only 3 participants in most of our fights. So some of this debilitation, most of this is actually done or healed by Penelo, who is our healer. But we don't want her burdened with too many curing of debilitations, so that it interferes with her ability to heal. So in her gambits are the best way to explain the kind of priority we want in our gambits. So in essence, this should be right up here, because especially once we have the ability to do a rise, because once a KO'd guy is a rose or a rise, gives not only we turn him back onto life, but we also give him full health. And so every time a character is down, we actually try to heal him first. But right now we don't have that, so I put it as a secondary thing. And then, so her main job is to cure anybody. Actually, in this case, it should be on any ally, which is this one. This should be here. So that's why this was, and then with this we can turn off, because it's the same. She will heal herself or anybody that goes below 70%. That's her main role. And then once that is done, then she can do revive people that have been KO'd, and then she can protect people herself. She can cast protect, that would be, and then she can cast poison. And then we give the other people like Vaughn, or here, they act as backup healers. Now in my later end game, I prefer to have healing at the top, knockout at the top, and then I spread the debilitations. Like I said, we have stone, we have petrify, we have slow, and among those we have disease, so all kinds of debilitations. I also rank their priorities. So we need to revive KO first. That's my first priority. And then we heal. And then we remove debilitations that take away our ability to move or to act, like disable, immobilize, stop. And then we remove, after that, then we remove debilitations that cause us, sap our strength or slow us, not so much slow us, but sap our health every second, because there are debilitations that constantly drain our hit points. And then there are just irritating debilitations like, sleep would be one of those, like stop, immobilize, sleep. And before that, even worse, is confused, because confused, instead, not only is our character hitting himself, or he rarely hits monsters. He hits himself or he hits other players or his other teammates. Especially once towards the end of the game, when Van is hitting close to about 10,000 per hit. Our hit points are never that high. Our hit points without bubble is under about 7,000 or about around 7,000. So he can one-shot any of our teammates. So the most important one is remove confuse, then KO, and then heal, and then remove those effects that stop us from doing anything, which is sleep, stop, immobilize, disable, and then debilitations that keep draining our health, and then debilitations that over time will turn us into like stone or petrify us, like stone and petrify, and then more. Those are priorities. So I guess that my priority has been the way I just described it, so that the lesser debilitations are given lower rankings, because if you have uh, the lower rankings or the lower effect debilitations at, given a higher ranking, meaning the priority is always from the top down. So if you have like blind up there, blind just reduces our ability to hit, and so we're still moving. We still have a chance to hit. It's just like instead of like 80% to hit, we're now down to 70% or something like. So we just have less chances, but we're still hitting. So as against if like compare that to confused, no way, right? Confused, because that guy will be hitting our teammates and we can die. The whole team can actually die. Anyway, so gambits, as you play them, they are literally like code that you're telling each player or each character what they should be doing in any fight situation. And the more you play the game, the more you will tinker with it. And also, especially when we're fighting espers, mob bosses, trophy marks, those characters or those monsters can shift from being invulnerable to magic, invulnerable to physical defense, and sometimes invulnerable to both physical and magic, and only like guild tosses can hit them. Like there are certain guild toss is an offensive item. Anyway, so gambits. I love the way gambits have been devised and have been implemented in this game, and that's the one of my. I think that's one of the shining examples of why this game is so good. Anyway, thank you guys for. Hopefully, I was able to help you guys, and thank you for participating in my channel. And I hope to see you in the next game. Bye.